Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. We are off to Mexico City for today's daily challenge, where we will begin with one motorway, and that's it. But we also begin with 4 roundabouts. Yes! Oh, a whole bunch of roundabouts has never, ever steered the Goog in the wrong direction. Why would you even suggest that could be possible? Nonsense. Nonsense, I say. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine and good and happy, and everything will be A-okay. You hear that? Everything will be A-okay. Oh, God. All right, it's Monday. Here, let's take a big old sip of Apple Burst Gatorade Zero and not think about anything for 9 seconds. It's good Gatorade Zero. Breakfast of Champions. I have a Quaker Chewy granola bar and the aforementioned Apple Burst Gatorade Zero. There are worse things, I suppose. These greens come over to here. We'll get a third green in a moment. Hey, look, it's been a moment. Give me, well, we have 4 roundabouts, so I suppose we should, words. I suppose we should take a tunnel instead of a 5th roundabout. Probably seems like a good idea. Hey, speaking of roundabouts, we might need to deploy one in a moment here. Actually, I don't think so, because what we can do is just get a little creative with placement as regards this green, and we'll just deal with the terrible angle of this pink coming into this business. That'll be okay. Oh, God. Oh, it's one of those days where I woke up and my eye itched and I'm sneezy and coughy and stuffy. It's almost as if allergies are a thing. That would be ridiculous. Nonsense. Hokum. Bunk. Alright. All of these greens are going to come over this way to help support the green circle that just rounded itself. That leaves this greenhouse way up here as, well, I kind of just assumed that there would be more houses spawning in response to this going circular, and that they'd spawn up here and that this would swing down this way. That may or may not be the case. Yeah, we've got 4 roundabouts. We can do without traffic lights for an additional minute. Ooh, excuse me. We can also continue not using them, I think. We'll run greens over here, down that away, and in like such. You go in there. Great. We do, after all, more than anything, more even than roundabouts, understand the importance of one business and one road. It can be difficult sometimes. It may not always seem like the right path, but if you hold yourself true and honest to 1B10, fuck. I was trying to give an inspirational, allegorical, well, maybe I invented the internet with it, I don't know. It's one way for a statement to be allegorical, right? So these yellows will come all the way up here. They'll tunnel through this way. There was no path for them to snake through here unless I deployed a roundabout, which, I maybe could have deployed a roundabout or used my motorway. Another option I had was to use my 1 and exactly 1 motorway, but nonsense. Take the 40 road tiles there so as to make sure we're good on road tiles. We should be fine, honestly, on road for the rest of the run, because the issue would have come in if you start taking motorways, and that, as part of the balancing factor of the game, reduces your road tile. But, yeah, no, I think we're okay. Oh, hi. Interesting. This is actually going to be fine. It may even be good. This having gone circular incentivizes me to swoop these here let's do the time warp again. No, let's bulldoze this tree and do that. So now these 5 make it 5 pinks. We'll swing westward down to here into this circle. These greens will go up and around this pink business into here, and we don't even have to deal with a terrible angle. You see, once again, you're rewarded for adhering and staying true to your principles. 1B, 1R. You hear that, world? If you believe a thing and stick to it, despite all natural, observable, scientific evidence to the contrary, you're gonna wind up fine. That's well, I mean, not to mention the horrors or anything, but that does seem to be the way things are going, doesn't it? Huh. Anyway, God, it's just. All right, we're gonna have to mention the horrors for a minute, just a minute. I hope. I promise. I'll try. Every once in a while. First of all, we're taking these 3 beiges and swinging them down along this way. I've gotten to a point where, like, I've eliminated a lot of the low-level, oh shit, everything's bad and we're doomed from my social media, by which I mean my Bluesky feed. Like, I have enough muted terms on Bluesky, and I have to add one every now and then. This is an imperfect exercise. But I've gotten to a point, speaking of getting to points, I think we may be getting to a point where I either need a roundabout or it's motorway time. And I think it's motorway time, honestly, with this purple business. Because, like, well, actually, I was going to say, you know, if I send purples this way and put a roundabout here, I would then need a subsequent second roundabout here just to get them further through. But, you know, I could just stick a roundabout here. Hold on. If we stick a roundabout there and then traffic toss down this way, is that functional? Is that gonna work? I don't know if that's gonna work. We're gonna find out together as friends. I sort of think this is gonna work. Because, like, I don't see, you know, with having houses spawn directly into the roundabout doesn't appear to slow down the traffic any more than just being in a roundabout does. So, give me another tunnel. I sort of think this works. I do sort of think this works. Huh. Also, we're just gonna herp that around here and swing this way, just to get another yellow house going off there. You, orange friends, can come this way and go along there. So I've got my Bluesky feed such that the low level, everything's bad, look at a new way that the things we knew would be bad are bad. That kind of stuff doesn't really get through my blocks. Like, I have all of the names of the major players and most of the names of the defunded organizations and all of that. I don't need to see that stuff. I personally cannot restore hundreds of billions of dollars of United States federal spending, nor can I do anything to stop the consequences of the withholding of those monies. Therefore, I just don't need to see it. So I don't. However, every once in a while, something new happens. Every once in a while, people start posting random things like, oh, hey, the anime industry's fucked. Or, wait a second, this TV station in Florida played Escape from Alcatraz last night. That must explain what's happening in the world. And I only see these little things out of context, right? Or every once in a while, I'll see someone just take a screenshot of a tweet that one of the horrible people made on Twitter. And it's like, here, look at this. And I want to grab these people and throttle them. It's like, you dumb fuck, if I wanted to see that shit, I would be on Twitter. I saw a thing. I don't even know. This may or may not be the biggest news story in the country right now, but I'm only just discovering it. Apparently, some lady called a kid the N-word and got a GoFundMe for $500,000? Is that a thing? I wasn't even my point. So every once in a while, people will start, like, a whole bunch of people I follow will all vaguely refer to the same thing with their tweets, but I won't know with their skeets, rather. I'm sorry, I used the incorrect informal Bluesky nomenclature. 1,000 pardons. Oh, God, what are we doing here? See, the problem is this orange up here is bad. That's referring to mini Motorways, by the way. Not, he's not even orange anymore. He's just ashen and gray and dying. But I digress. Let's do... We could, like, roundabout here and over that away? No.
Hear ye. Let the record show that this viewer was here first.
Sunflare Space was here first. Sonny, I'm sorry, we're discussing the horrors. Probably not for the whole show, but for a minute at least. We're gonna do this. I guess we're gonna do this to get these two oranges over to here and then straight shoddily up there. And as to the everything else of it all, for the moment, we're going to create a roundabout from nothing. That roundabout will be here. All right. Yeah, so we're going to create a roundabout from nothing once this motorway demotorifies itself. Like, once this beige car gets back home, we're going to toss these two beiges into the roundabout. By the way, this green business is starting to die, so we might need more impactful long-term solutions in a moment here. Also, just by using the phrase impactful long-term solutions, I have been awarded an MBA. I have cracked the code and solved the puzzle, and I now have a degree in corporate buzzwordology. Which is nice. That'll serve me well in the water wars to come. So this yellow goes up this way, swings up in here, goes over there. That's great. You go off here. For the first time in a minute, I could actually deal with some traffic lights, but we're not going to have any, so let's have this actually. Thank you. Do good stuff. Okay. So my beiges go here and here. They come in from the north and the east, and they either go out west to service this business or go out southwest with the purples. The purples having come from here. Hey, we can add a beige because the beiges and purples are going the same way. So the beiges and purples go through the roundabout. They come down here. They then go into the roundabout joined by 5 more beiges. The beiges, again, might peel off west to get out here, but they might also join the purples in continuing southwest, past the purple business, and then into this second beigeness. All of that is wonderful. However, there is more. For you see, this green down here needs stuff. So, I think it might be time for stuff. And by stuff, we mean yet more roundaboutization. So, let's take all of these, and let's do a roundabout right here. I don't know if that's necessarily ideal, but I think it is legitimately better to have more roundabouts. It's better to have more roundabouts than to have roundabouts with more inputs, if that makes sense. Because, like, I'm trying to peel, it's almost like string cheese. My roads are string cheese. We're trying to peel some of these roads and get them going in different directions so that we deal with the roundabouts in tiny little chunks. This makes sense. This is a reasonable statement I've just made. Okay. So we do a roundabout up here, and then we do a second roundabout here. And this second roundabout here has doot, doot, doot. Okay. So, these greens come down here. They're in the northwest spur of this roundabout. These greens come through here, and they're in the northeast spur of this roundabout. This roundabout also features yellows from the south. The yellows come from the south. I think we can just hit go and explain this as it's going, make the number go up. So the yellows come from the south, and they go off to the east all the way to this yellow business. Meanwhile, the aforementioned, give me another roundabout because I've suddenly used all of them. The greens have the option of going southeast through... Oh, hi. All right, you point that way. Y'all come out here. You go there. That. Wait, no. Hold on. Dude, wait. You need to wait. All right, where was this going? Oh, this is going up there for the Bayesians. Okay. Well, if that's going to go there for the Bayesians, then we really needed... Well, first we need that. Yeah, I think we need that. And then I was going to have yellows go up through this corridor, but that's not going to work. So for the minute, you're just going to be here and fine. And deal with it. Okay. Also, hey, look. More beiges for this particular beige god. That should be fine. Although, I think eventually in the long term, these beiges may feel that this beigeness is their responsibility, which I suppose it could be, but they have a very roundabout path of Actually, hold on. That should be their responsibility. If I do this, I can murder this whole spur. Toss that down that way. Purples are still going there. Oh, wait. You go up here. Purples go that way. Beiges go that way. So now the breaking point from that roundabout from these two businesses, rather, happens all the way back at this roundabout. This beigeness up here is decoupled from the roundabout. And we swing you around and in like so, and that's basically fine. And then you just... I'm out of road. I didn't expect that I would be out of road, but okay. I was immediately not out of road. Dear Lord. Ow. Okay. So the original point that I was making vis-a-vis horrors. Every once in a while, I'll see people vague posting about the same thing. Like a dozen people will vaguely refer to the same thing, but I don't know what the thing is. And I, like a dummy, this is the part where I'm a dummy, right? I could just say, you know what? That's probably a fresh horror. I don't need to know what it is. I'll just move on with my life. I'll see it eventually. But no, I have to know what fresh hell has come to my country. You know, I used to never care about my country, and then it went to shit. Wonder if I just accidentally myself into a very powerful statement. I could probably sell that as like a bumper sticker, or a t-shirt, or a title of this episode. I don't like to put profanities in the titles of the episodes is the problem. But I used to not care about my country and then it went to shit. Probably get the wrong people mad at me. Well, the kind of people that you want to offend in this life, but also I don't want to deal with people being mad at me. God. Sounds like work, and also they might shoot me. They have guns. All right. You are a beigeness. You can take a couple of beiges from this beige stockpile here. There you go. You go up like there. Hug the cliff line, I suppose. You go up here. So I see that there is some new fresh hell, and I don't know what fresh hell it is. And I, like a dummy, must investigate. I have to know what the new particular breed of terror has come to my country. And so I go look. And it turns out that, for instance, the President of the United States, the ostensible leader of the free world, one of the singular most powerful humans in all of existence in the history of mankind, watched a movie last night and decided that the United States should reopen the tiny little prison off the coast of California at Alcatraz. And the President of the United States, using his bully pulpit, the power of his words, his stupid, demented, moronic, nigh indecipherable words, is directing the Justice Department and the Bureau of Prisons and all of that to reopen Alcatraz. Okay. Or it could be, what exactly am I going to do with this? By the way, yeah, this green business over here is kind of a shitbag, really. I don't have a great plan for you. Actually, you know what? It's Sunday. Can we just get through this, and can I actually have traffic lights? I could really do with some thank you. Yes, it's exactly what I wanted, actually. For you see, now we have a plan. For if we do a perfectly cromulent traffic light right there, and no, a perfectly cromulent traffic light right here, we can just toss the greens from here, which had already been coming into this roundabout and going in various directions. Now, one of the other directions they could go is off this way down to this business, and that's just gonna be fine. This purple circle, I think I'm okay with it existing. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think we're gonna be okay. We we might be starting to... Actually, yeah, we are starting to... Oh, bad. Oh, hold on. Okay, so the greens... Basically what's happening is this roundabout is too crowded now. This roundabout is suddenly servicing this yellow circle over here. And, by the way, you should point east. Yeah, it's servicing this yellow circle and this green circle. Oh. And now the addition of this green square has caused it to go haywire. And with this roundabout going haywire, the green traffic is backing up into this roundabout, which is doom. I think we're already doomed, actually. However, just in case we're not, I should probably come up with a way by which greens might do better. Also, I just saw up here a way to vastly improve the life situation of both of these orange businesses. So that's good. I'm glad I did that. As to the everything else of it all, well, yeah. So, like, if I... Hold on, wait. If I peel these... If I take these greens out of here... Now listen, friends, this is probably doomed. Like, there's probably just nothing I can do here. But if I put a roundabout here... No, that doesn't solve anything. I can't... Fuck. Well, if we use a silly dinky tunnel, actually, I can get these three greens around to this road without using the roundabout. And by avoiding the roundabout, we pull the green pressure off of this, but yeah, you see how this is already doomed? Like this, both of these businesses here are probably already doomed because there was the backlog at the roundabout, and there kind of still is. Like that. Oh, well, there's a problem. I also accidentally deleted a support tile from... Oh, okay. Yeah, I also deleted a support tile from this business, so it was just disconnected from everything, and now it's dead. So, another thing you might see, if you are, like me, a person who is addicted to social media despite not actually wanting to directly confront the horrors of the fall of the empire in which you live, you might see that the President of the United States, ostensible leader of the free world, singularly most politically powerful human, maybe not in existence, but certainly in the existence of your country, has posted in, again, his stupid, ignorant, rambling, near incomprehensible drivel, that apparently the American film industry is dying, which, I mean, it is, but apparently the American film industry is dying because countries around the world have conspired to offer tax incentives to undermine American national security by incentivizing movie studios to produce their movies overseas. Which, Drop those samurai slams in the chat, by the way. Also, a tangent. It would be very easy for Twitch to just ban automatically any account that posts the word stream boo. They haven't. They won't. They don't. I know that wouldn't actually solve the problem because the bots would just find another host, but it's a bad first guess, but it was thematically appropriate. It's a decent second guess, and it was thematically appropriate. It's a fine third guess. Was thematically appropriate. None of these have been good, by the way. Like, we're kind of fucked now, but we'll think about it. So apparently the American film industry is dying. And the stupid, demented President of the United States has decided to solve this problem by using his new favorite word, tariff. Apparently, and this is a thing I have only recently learned, and I don't want to present myself as an expert on anything really, but particularly, recent American economic history. Apparently, in the 1970s and the 1980s, there was a great discussion in this country about whether or not the U.S. should implement tariffs. And near as anyone can tell, that's what this idiot is talking about. This stupid, dumb motherfucker is so checked out that he's just remembering conversations he had 50 years ago with people who have been dead for 25 years about whether or not the United States should implement tariffs. And this motherfucker has not actually read or remembered or learned about what happens anytime the United States implements massive tariffs, which is, to sum it up, bad. Shit goes, roughly speaking, to shit. Every time, without fail, always and forever. And that was, back in the days, before the United States was just as very dependent on the importation of foreign-produced goods and services and movies than it is now. I don't remember how I started that sentence, so if it didn't make grammatical sense, well, Goog 2028, I guess. I used to say that I didn't actually want to be president of the United States because it seemed like a very hard job. And listen, it is a very hard job if you care about it. If you don't, it's very good. Clancy has summed it up nicely, as they have a tendency to do. The United States helped to create, and very much lives in, a hyper-globalized society. Trying to become isolationist now is only going to ruin us. But hey, This started as what was supposed to be a 5-minute haha riff about, sometimes shit pokes through the walls I have erected around my Bluesky feed. Oops. So the Wordle could be a great many things. It could be shush. It's shush. Okay. All right, I'll take it. Small victories. Tiny pleasures. It's a new episode of Cult of the Lamb on YouTube later today. It would make my soul feel better if you watched it. All right. Immediate guess. Vatican City yesterday. We're playing Time Guesser, by the way. Is that Papa Frankie? I think that is Papa. Is that Papa Frankie? I don't know. No, wait. No, he's just dressed as a cardinal. So we just got a whole bunch of cardinals going on, huh? Well, Goog, I think you were right about this one. I think we're all Vatican about stuff. I did not see, obviously, this episode of Time Guesser before I made the frankly hilarious joke I posted on my Bluesky feed. By the way, follow the _Goog on Bluesky if you only want, well, that's not true. I sometimes discuss the horrors there, too. Anyway, I have a question. And I'm sure there's a historical reason for this, but when the Italians were getting together and they decided that, listen, the leader of the Catholic Church needs to have a whole country just to himself, why did they call that country Vatican City and not Ethiopia? That's just my question. If anyone knows, post it in comments. Number go up, make brain feel better. Anyway. Yeah, we're probably in, Peter's Based Licks. Peter's Based Licks is a terrible name for a grunge band, I think. So we're probably there, and it was probably yesterday. We were, in fact, basically there, and it was indeed yesterday. So, next round. Ethiopia, title of the episode. It's probably better than anything referring to the, stupid, deranged, demented, sundowning idiot who is currently the most powerful elected official in the world. Actually, if you throw the word elected in there, I can safely say the history of the world. So that's nice. All right. So we got folks hanging out. We got bar vibes. What is your okay, so you're reading about Lionel Messi. He's good. Are you reading about Messi in English? No. Autre lésion et un grand interrogante. Okay, so Messi, something, and a big question. Okay. Great. So between the fact that you're reading about Messi and the colors of your tie, by the way, this is a nice tie. Thinking maybe Argentina, but we can probably learn more things from more people, such as these guys, who appear to be sitting around playing chess. Interesting. Is black in a dominant position here? Hold on. Oh, that's a rook. I thought that might have been a pawn. It'll be fine. What do we have over here? We got some dudes at the bar. We got some booze. We've got the crest of... It's probably the crest of some football team, like international soccer-based football. But as an aside, if you are or know someone who can smuggle a Goog into a, well, should probably not resort to smuggling at this point. The time will come for that. If you are or know someone who can totally above board legally get a Goog into, like, I don't know, I just paused for a very long time trying to think of a European country whose political winds are blowing to the left. Denmark? No, they're getting pretty racist about stuff. See, the thing is, kind of everybody in the developed Western world is getting a little bit racist about stuff because everybody knows that we're not actually gonna solve the climate crisis, and they know that the shit is really gonna hit the fucking fan, and they know that when the shit really hits the fucking fan, there's gonna be tens, if not hundreds of times more immigrants and refugees trying to come to their country than there are presently, because there will be wide swaths of the earth that are simply uninhabitable. And rather than build a society that is welcoming and accepting of these people who have been overfucked by the largesse of centuries of humanity, instead, the plan is fuck you, got mine. So the idea is you just build a big old wall and you keep everybody out. And that isn't gonna work, but that's the idea. And nobody's directly said any of those things, 'cause, you know, it's uncouth for one reason or another. Either, in the United States, it's uncouth to just say the words climate and change in the same sentence. And that was like, you remember the base of the progression I just laid out? That was the first part. That we're never, as an internationalized global society, we're never going to solve the problem of climate change. So the United States refuses to even acknowledge that climate change is a problem. Other countries are like, yeah, climate change is a problem, but we're gonna solve it. But also, just in case we don't solve it, let's start implementing some very harsh immigration policies, just in case. They haven't started saying just in case yet, but so anyway, I think we're in Argentina. We're gonna say we're in Argentina. Argentina's in South America, Goog. Not, All right. Well, if I think we're in Argentina, I might as well think we're in Buenos Aires, because come on. We could be geographically central about stuff, but come on. We are in a lovely little pool and chess bar on Avenida Diaz Velez, so the avenue of God Velez. I don't know. No, Diaz is not God. Diaz is, there's different words, Goog. Anyway, and this was probably like 2014. It seems reasonable. Maybe a little, Messi's been good for a while. Maybe it was 2012. It was 2006. Messi has indeed been good for a while. Next. All right, immediate thought. I forgot to do an immediate thought for the last one, and all that I can say to that is, oops. Immediate thought for this one, Cuba. It's probably wrong, because these Volkswagen Beetles are a little more modern. They're like 60s cars, and in the 60s, you weren't gonna get these cars into Cuba, so, oh, hi. Oh, I should have seen this thing over here. This is one of those, that's not a Ziggurat, is it? That might be a Ziggurat. Hold on. Well, hold on. Well, we got an Aero Peru here. My Spanish is rusty, but it's not quite that rusty. So yeah, that's we're kind of ziggurat times. Okay, so we're somewhere in Peru, and the good news is Peru is tiny, so we could really narrow it down here. We got Beetles. We got these cars here, which are some aggressively 1970s vehicles. We've got the Zone Not Real or something. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get any more specific than Peru, unless that's like an ultra important ziggurat. There definitely are ziggurats of great importance in Peru, right? Okay. If my phrasing in that sentence was a little bit odd and seemed to be structured in such a way that would create a title of an episode, well, you were correct. Ziggurats of Great Importance is, in fact, the title of the episode. Come on. All right, where's Peru? It's around here somewhere. There it is. I saw you. And much like, well, actually, hold on. If we assume that that was, in fact, a ziggurat of great importance, maybe we're not in Lima. Could we be elsewhere? Are there, I honestly don't know if Machu Picchu's in Peru. Also, that's not Machu Picchu. Come on, Goog. The Machu Picchu's bigger than that. It's not exactly a huge city. It doesn't have to be Lima. Do we want to say that we're maybe somewhere? No. We're not in La Paz, because La Paz is in Bolivia, and that sign does not say Aero Bolivia. So... oh boy. Yeah, okay, fuck it. We're in Lima, I suppose. Here, we'll be in the outskirts of Lima. How about that? Outskirts of Lima, 1977. Seems reasonable. Horrendously wrong, but seemed reasonable. I was in Cusco, which is a fair ways away. Okay. Guys, I think... well, gee, this is a really difficult one. I'm going to say we're probably in Seattle, Washington. Oh, wait. Nope. There's a big old marble dick there. All right. So... now, see, the thing is, if you could get points for month and day, this would be easy. But you can't. So we're in Washington, D.C. We're at a big old body of water that, there's probably like... is this the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial? That's where the reflecting pool is, right? Also, Goog, Washington is further south than that. There you go. All right, so we zoom into the DC. Yeah. You can see right here. We got the Capitol building, the Washington Monument, and then the big old fancy reflecting pool. And then you got a whole bunch of cars. I don't recall it ever being okay to park a whole bunch of cars on Abe's steps, but it basically looks like, well, actually, hold on. No, because we need the water. So, yeah, because this is not like a river or nothing. This is just the planned water installation right here. So, well, apparently it was once okay to park cars on Abe's steps, because I'm pretty sure we're like there. I guess we could be like here. Not really, because like, yeah, okay, so we're basically there. The question is when. And for that, we're going to have to zoom in on all of these big old automobiles and figure they look late 40s? Like 1948, maybe? Because these basically look like cars you'd see in LA Noire. So, it's good, reasonable science magicianry, right? 1949. Okay, fine. Oh, and it was President Truman's inaugural, not the 4th of July. Okay. All right. Hold on. Wait a second. Harry. I know it worked out for him, but so Harry Truman becomes president after the previous president, who had been the president for like 15 years, fucking kicked it. The country's at war. So the country's at war, the president's dead, and Harry's in charge now. And his brilliant idea is to throw a big, massive fireworks party to celebrate the fact that he's in charge now? Okay. Immediate guess, Spain. Let's zoom in on this sign and see how wrong I am. Well, no. Carico Scarico. Sorry, no. No, that's not. I know what, that is not a way of saying that your automobile will be frightened to enter an area. It probably means something other than that. It's not actually saying Carico Scarico. Okay. It is also not saying that your car has risks. Okay. So yeah, this is a fancy Italian sign saying don't drive here. Also, the important word in that sentence was Italian. So we're not in Spain. We're probably in Italy. They speak Italian there. Also, this man, if I was a person who could instantly identify international license plates, I would look at this and be like, ah, yes, we are in whatever place we're in. I'm not, so. You happen to have flags on your deal? Obvious, weird-looking cop guys? No? Okay. Nope. Alright. Well, I still think we're in Italy, so. As to the when of this, I don't know. 1982? I could see this being 1982. Yeah, okay. So, we're in Italy. We're probably coastal Italy, given the water here. So, maybe Naples? Could be Naples. Could be Rome. Do we see the sun at all? We see a big old rock. Is that big old rock of any meaningful import? Could we be on Sicily? Could we be in Palermo? I mean, we could be, but no possible way of figuring that out. So let's hedge our bets a little bit and say that we're not. We're just going to say that we're in Naples. Like, here. We're right there in 1982. We were, in fact, not right there. And not even the Italian-speaking city of Lugano, Switzerland. Okay. All right. Listen, we got damn near 43,000 points. That seems like a good score, and I'll take it. For today's Immaculate Grid, we need Padres, Cardinals, Yankees, dudes what stole 30 bases in a season, dudes what stole first base, and dudes what played center field. All right, dude who played for the Cardinals and the Yankees is Harrison Bader. Dude who played for the Yankees and the Padres is probably not difficult if I think about it for a minute. Hold on. Well, we all know that Jamie Moyer was famously a Padre, right? Beyond that, see, the thing is, Jamie Moyer didn't play for the Yankees, so there's no point using him for that square. Yeesh. Well, we'll get back to that one. St. Louis Cardinal, who played first base, is a great many people, including but not limited to Paul Goldschmidt was on the Cardinals, wasn't he? He was also on the Diamondbacks for a long time, but he was on the Cardinals forever. Nah, actually, we'll take the layup and go Mark McGwire. Paul Goldschmidt probably also fit the square, but play it safe just a little bit. San Diego Padre, who played first base, is Ryan Klesko. And a dude who played first base and center field is not, in fact, Mookie Betts. I want to say Willie Mo Pena, because I know the Red Sox had tried him at first base, but I think the Red Sox only tried Willie Mo Pena at first base in spring training, and it was a complete and unmitigated disaster. So, should probably not actually say Willie Mo Pena. We should instead say Brock Holt. Because Brock Holt played everywhere, man. Dude who had a 30 stolen base season and played center field is... Mookie Betts is not fast now. Did he used to be fast? I mean, he used to be faster. We should probably, once again, do a little bit of the old bet hedging. And we'll go with Otis Nixon. San Diego Padre, who had a 30 stolen base season, is the young Tony Gwynn, I think. Young Tony Gwynn was fleet of foot. St. Louis Cardinal, who had a 30 stolen base season, is Willie McGee. I think Willie McGee was a swifty fella. He was indeed a swift fella. Good for him. And now we must name some New York Yankees. A New York Yankee who played center field and also probably had a 30 stolen base season is one Jacob Ellsbridge. And now we are back to the Padre Yankee. God damn it. Help me, North Daddy. No? But he's a Yankee and a Padre. He's the North... No? Okay. North Daddy is also what people on Tumblr called Ned Stark in the first season of Game of Thrones. Anyway. So Trevor Hoffman was a Padre. I don't think he was a Yankee. Mark Teixeira was a Yankee, but not a Padre. Tony Gwynn Jr. was a Padre, but not a Yankee. Shit, dude. Ken Caminiti was a Padre. I don't think he was a Yankee. Jose Canseco, I believe, was a Yankee, but not a Padre. Tony Clark was a Yankee, but not a Padre. Fernando Tatis Jr. is a Padre, but was never a Yankee. CC Sabathia was a Yankee, but not a Padre. Andy Pettitte, Roger Clemens. Mike Mussina. Mike Hampton was a Padre, but not a Yankee. I think Mike Hampton was a Padre. Fuck, dude. Mariano Rivera was a Yankee. Tony Womack was a Yankee. Was Tony Womack a Padre? Kenny Lofton was a Yankee. Was Kenny Lofton a Padre? Kevin Youkilis was a Yankee. Johnny Damon was a Yankee. Mike Stanley was a Yankee. Mike Stanton was a Yankee. Giancarlo Stanton is a Yankee. Alex Rodriguez was a Yankee. None of these people were Padres that I know of. Scott Brocious was a Yankee. You know, if Samurai Sam was here, he'd say that I'd named like 3 dudes who fit the square already. I probably have named like 3 dudes who fit the square already, but, you know. Anyway. Shit. Bernie Williams was a Yankee. Ruben Sierra? Wait. Ruben Sierra. Ruben Sierra, Gary Sheffield. Gary Sheffield was a Padre. That is an immaculate grid. Oh, God. Oh, I almost Ruben Sierra'd myself. All right. We're going to look. The final thing we will do on this fine and glorious day is we're going to look up Ruben Sierra and see if he also would have fit the square. Ruben Sierra would not have fit the square. So good job remembering Gary Sheffield at the last minute, Goog. Whew, boy. All right. Let's bring up this lovely schedule right here. It is lovely in the sense that it is mine, and that's about it. But it's not lovely in the sense that it is abbreviated. In-person jobs for work and timings of such mean that we will be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Mini Motorways and a full slate on Thursday. But beyond that, it's going to be brief and short this week, folks. As always, card subject to change in the actually subject to change, not just we're bait and switching you sense. And we will hopefully see you tomorrow morning. Until then, have a wonderful day, everybody. Goodbye.